With the new year, people are setting resolutions from everything from staying organized to losing weight.
Brown and Crouppen has some legal resolutions for us to consider.
With everyone talking about New Year's resolutions, Andy Crouppen with Brown Crouppen is here to talk about legal resolutions. What do you mean?
So I think the new year, when everybody's making resolutions, there are always a few things to think about that are important things that we should be doing whenever we think about it at any time of the year. But sometimes people are in the get things done mode. So we have a few suggestions if you're looking to be a responsible human being and member of society and get a few things done that really are important to you and your family.
I'm sure you're talking about those important documents, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a real start. Make sure you have your affairs in order. A healthcare directive. So if you don't have that, what that is if you are unable to make healthcare decisions for yourself, make sure you have filled out a form that assigns someone that responsibility, because otherwise things can get really messy with you and your family. And you want to make sure you get somebody you trust to make the decisions that you have conveyed to them are what you would want if you were there or able to make those decisions. Wills and trusts, please. I've seen too many people without those in place who die unexpectedly and leave a real mess for their family. It's hard enough to grieve the loss of a loved one, let alone putting a family in a position where during that period of grief, they have to start dividing up assets on their own, not knowing what that person would have wanted. It can just cause a lot of unnecessary stress at the worst possible time. It doesn't take much. If you have a simple situation, you can get those forms for free. If it's a little more complicated, it's a trip or two to a lawyer and you're done.
Okay, another thing to get in order this time of year, those passwords. You probably have a lot of them. How do you organize them?
And you do have a lot of them. And it's one thing for somebody to steal your Netflix, but oftentimes you're using your Netflix password for your bank account. Or you have it for an email account where they can access stuff for your bank account. Use different passwords for each service and make sure you change them regularly. The beginning of the year is a great time to think about that. Just go out, change your passwords, use a password generator that you can install so it's a random number and letter sequence assigned that you could never remember, but your computer can remember it, but it makes it much harder to hack. Don't use something obvious. Use special characters and throw in a random capital letter here and there. It really does make a difference. There are tons of hacks. We hear about more of them daily. And protect your money and your delicate information. You don't want to get hacked.
Any other legal resolutions we should consider?
Yeah, here's one that actually I've had several people call me about just in the last few weeks. Situations where they weren't sure about their auto insurance coverage once they've had an accident. Think about this before you have an accident. The thing you want to make sure is that you have auto or adequate insurance coverage in general to match your net worth. If you are worth $100,000, you don't want to have $25,000 in insurance, because if you have a claim that exceeds that, they can come after your personal assets. So make sure you have enough to cover your home and any stocks or investments or cars that you have. It costs you very little to increase your insurance coverage or get some sort of umbrella policy, but it costs you a whole lot if you don't have that and you cause an accident or cause harm to somebody else and they sue you and it exceeds your coverage. So, one last one. Stop texting and driving, please. That's a great one.
Awesome. Andy Crouppen, Happy New Year to you.
You too.
If you need legal advice, give the experts at Brown & Crouppen a call at 314-222-2222 and visit their website, getbc.com. You should also make sure to check out their YouTube page.